The book of Syrach, chapter 10. A wise judge shall deem his people, and the prince of a witty man shall be steadfast. Verse 2. After the judge of the people, so and his ministers, and what manner man is the governor of the city, such ben also men dwelling therein. Verse 3. An unwise king shall lease his people, and cities shall be inhabited by the wit of prudent men. Verse 4. The power of earth is in the hand of God, and all the wickedness of heathen men is abominable, and he shall raise a profitable governor at a time on it. Verse 5. The power of man is in the hand of God, and he shall set his honor in the face of a wise man in the law. Verse 6. Have thou not mind on all the wrong of the neighbor, and do thou no thing in the works of wrong. Verse 7. Pride is hateful before God and men, and all the wickedness of heathen men is abominable. Verse 8. A rheum is translated from a folk into folk, for unrightfulnesses, and wrongs, and despisings, and divers guiles. Verse 9. No thing is curseter than an avaricious man. What art thou proud, thou earth and ash? Verse 10. No thing is worse than for to love money. For why this man hath also his soul set to sale, for in his life he hath cast away his innocent things. Verse 11. Each power is short life, linger sickness grieveth the lech. Verse 12. A lech kitteth away short sickness, so and a king is today, and tomorrow he shall die. Verse 13. Forsooth, when a man shall die, he shall inherit serpents and beasts and worms. Verse 14. The beginning of pride of man was to be apostate from God. Verse 15. For his heart yet away from him that made him. For why pride is the beginning of all sin. He that holdeth it shall be filled with cursings, and it shall destroy him into the end. Verse 16. Therefore the Lord hath shent the covens of evil men, and hath destroyed them till into the end. Verse 17. God destroyed the seats of proud dukes, and made mild men to sit for them. Verse 18. God made dry the roots of proud folks, and planted meek men of those folks. Verse 19. The Lord destroyed the lands of folks, and lost though till to the foundament. Verse 20. He made dry the roots of them, and lost them, and made the mind of them to cease from the earth. Verse 21. God lost the mind of proud men, and left the mind of meek men in wit. Verse 22. Pride was not made to men, neither wrathfulness to the nation of women. Verse 23. This seed of men that dreadeth God shall be honored, but this seed shall be dishonored, that passeth the commandments of the Lord. Verse 24. In the midst of brethren the governor of them is an honor, and they that dread God shall be in his eye. The glory of rich men honored, and of poor men is the dread of God. Verse 26. Neither thou despise a just poor man, and neither thou magnify a rich sinful man. Verse 27. The judge is great, and is mighty in honor, and he is not greater than that man that dreadeth God. Verse 28. Free children serve in a witty servant, and a prudent man and learned shall not grutch when he is blamed, and an uncunning man shall not be honored. Verse 29. Neither thou enhance thee in thy work to be done, and neither thou be slow in the time of anguish. Verse 30. He is better that worketh, and hath plenty in all things, than he that hath glory and needeth bread. Verse 31. Son, keep thy soul in mildness, and give thou honor to it, after his merit. Verse 32. Who shall justify him that sinneth against his soul? And who shall honor him that dishonoureth his soul? Verse 33. A poor man hath glory by his learning and dread, and there is a man that is honoured for his cattle. Verse 34. Forsooth, if a man hath glory in poverty, how much more in cattle? And he that hath glory in cattle, dread poverty.
So ends chapter 10 of the book of Syrach.